For more on this, I'm joined by political analyst Mark Meirowitz in New York. So Mark, can you tell us that U.S. and Turkish ties have been strained lately, but how does this bode well for the future?
Well, it bodes very well for the future, but it's still very unclear what the implementation of the program is going to be. The agreement is to address Turkey's security concerns, set up the Joint Operations Center, and then have the safe zone, which would then allow the repatriation of Syrian refugees. This is still to be implemented. So it's not clear completely, but we're definitely on the right track. Definitely on the right track to avert a disaster in Syria by having a Turkish invasion, by having a disconnect or a conflict with the United States. This solution looks good, looks very, very good at the present time if it can be implemented.
So what's the U.S. role going to be? Do you have any more details? And specifically the area that we're looking at, can you give us a little more information on that?
Well, no, I mean, I think that, as I said before, the actual details of the implementation are not clear exactly, but the objectives of the project or of the program are clear, and that is to restrain the YPG, create the possibility of suppressing the expansion of the YPG and not allowing them to have a corridor of operations. And that's really Turkey's objective here. This is what Turkey's been talking about all along, and they've been concerned about the close relationship of the U.S. with the YPG, which the Turks say is very clearly the YPG is affiliated with the PKK. And that was an untenable situation. So I think at this time we're kind of at a crossroads to go forward.
So, Mark, why did it take so long to negotiate this?
Oh, well, I mean, there was a serious disconnect between let us say, the negotiations between, the diplomats, the U.S. diplomats with Ankara, the administration, the presidency, and what was happening on the ground with American forces who were working with the Syrian Kurds who were assisting the United States in the conflict or the fight against ISIS. So you had really two tracks operating here, and now it looks like those two tracks are coming together with a clearer policy in terms of how to deal with the YPG. What is the end game here? What is really going on? I would say this. Number one, because of the whole issue of the S-400 and F-35, that's not our subject for today, there's been a lot of tension between the U.S. and Turkey. And so this agreement helps to kind of mollify or kind of pacify the situation and make it a lot better in terms of U.S.-Turkey relations. The potential was to have a real break in U.S.-Turkish relations over Syria. So that it looks like they have a modus vivendi. The other point is, look, what's the imperative here? The imperative for Turkey is to repatriate the Syrian refugees because they've taken, and this is a kind of heroic thing that Turkey has done to take 3.6 million refugees, but this has become a big issue in Turkey, and the Turkish population, I would say, is not enamored with that. And maybe I'm oversimplifying it. So they've got to get a solution on that one too. And so that's two parts. Number one, preventing the rise of the YPG affiliated with the PKK, repatriating the Syrian refugees. Those are the two issues. And keeping the PKK, suppressing the PKK affiliate, the YPG, is an absolute existential imperative for Turkey. And plus, the Syrian refugee issue is a very big issue in Turkey. So these are big imperatives. U.S.-Turkish relations will benefit, hopefully, from this agreement.
Okay. Mark, thank you so much for your analysis and joining us this evening.